Hello everybody, welcome into the form. This week we concentrate, of course, back at Trentham, wrapping up their three-day carnival with the Group 3 Wellington Cup. We've also got to head down south and have a look at the Wingatui Cup as well. So that means we've got the usual team back in this week. Bevan Sweeney rejoins us, along with Leith Innes and Aidan Rodley. And this is what's coming up on the form this week. As mentioned, we're starting with the feature, the Group 3 Wellington Cup out of Trentham. Having a look at the undercard, including, of course, the other Group 3 on the program. We also have the racetrackers as usual. Then we're heading down to Wingatui for the Wingatui Cup. And our best bets, we'll be trying to find more of those for you this weekend. Our main focus is at Trentham, so my opportunity to say hello to you, Bevan. It's in your area. What weather are we going to get this weekend?
Hello team and everyone at home. All I can say is that the weather suggests we're going to have another fantastic track at Trentham on Saturday. I thought it played really well last Saturday with some excellent racing. And I don't think there's going to be any difference on Saturday. It's a soft 7 at the present moment. It will be improving across the next 36 hours or so, and expecting it to be at least maybe the soft 5 level into a good 4.
Let's have a look at the feature. It is race number 9. Interpretation, of course, makes his way across for Kieran Maher. He's got the 3 races in mind. Testify Me at $5.50, Beavertown Boy at $6.50, and then you're getting out to a runner like Non de Plume at $12. There has been money for Nereus, $13 was the opening quote, now into 9s. That's a look at the market. Let's take you back to the form, and we will start with the Australian Raider Interpretation. Of course, the runner who finishes second, coming off the back of a freshen up swings from the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, and he performed with great credit in the Melbourne Cup. He did have 50 that day, so he carries top weight in the New Zealand Cup, and not very big this horse. I read that his racing weight's around 470 kilos, so not overly big, but clearly he'll run the trip. This was 2,500 metres. He's been taking ground off the winner at the line. It's just a matter of whether the 59 will stop him a fraction on Saturday, Leith.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, he ran 15th in the Melbourne Cup, and yeah, reports say he's travelled over really well from his base in Melbourne. And like you said, he's not the biggest horse. They said he's quite small, so there is a little bit of a question mark for that 59 kilos.
We got out and saw him yesterday at Matamata, and like he's not a big imposing horse, but he's carried 60.5 to win on 3 occasions, so he's well used to carrying big weights. That run in the baggage after a couple of jump outs in between the Melbourne Cup and a freshen up were very good, and obviously a horse who had run 6th in the Melbourne Cup going back, only 13 months. So Luke Curry to do the riding for Kieran Maher. Just a lot of respect around this runner. Here's a key race. We have a look at the Nom de Plume in the Martin Cup running second. Drops half a kilogram out of this. I thought there were a couple of really good runs here. Testify Me finishes third, only beaten half length. Drops 4.5 kilograms, so makes Nom de Plume 4 kilograms better. And Beavertown Boy, eye-catching as well, drops 5.5 kilograms. The weight's all important for mine when I'm assessing this Martin Cup, Leith.
Yeah, certainly. Testify Me was a really good run in the race. Both him and Nom de Plume, they're yet to run over 2 miles, but just their racing action, and they looked out-and-out stayers as well. And Beavertown Boy, look, from the New Zealand Cup, he's had 2 runs back where he's actually dropped a point both times, so he gets in the race with a beautiful weight of 53.5.
Yeah, I do like a lot about that particular race, boys. Testify Me, I think, is really screaming out for an extra triple get it on Saturday. If he gets any sort of decent run, I think he'll be right in it. I agree around Beavertown Boy. Is there an early crow market here? Because I can't find a leader, and maybe they just ride this horse positively, Beavertown Boy, and put it in the race, and maybe dominated off the front. And my roughie was in that particular race as well, In My Shadow, trained specifically for the 2 miles and Saturday. Can't believe the price around it. Here's Beavertown Boy in the New Zealand Cup, and this probably shows how competitive he will be on Saturday. I don't know about you, Leith, and trying to map out 2 miles, but I just couldn't find a leader. The early crow market, I don't know if it's there yet or they're putting one up, but couldn't find anything to run right on speed and keep on rolling. No,
there certainly looks no clear leader in the race. I think Beavertown Boy, he's had 2 nice runs back. Look, that track there was a sort of a soft 7. I think he's looking for a better track as well. So at 53.5 kilos, I've got him he's definitely on my ticket.
Got to respect him for sure, and I agree, lads. No speed whatsoever in this race, and it's just going to make this Wellington Cup a really interesting tactical affair. Because if you're caught back, you know, you just giving yourself no chance. So are there going to be mid-race moves? Is there going to be someone put the pressure on? Is there going to be someone changing tactics? So that will be an interesting facet of this race. We're going to go back and have a look at the Queen Elizabeth Stakes out of Ellerslie. Arby was able to settle close to the speed this day, and maybe he is the leader in this affair. Big home Nereus, Wolfgang Nestig out of this race as well. Nereus was really good winning the Counties Cup a couple of starts back. Wolfgang got fairly close to interpretation in a Geelong Cup. So there's nice form lines here, but you've got to say real respect around Arby and what he's been doing this preparation, and potentially the leader, Leith.
Yeah, obviously Arby and SVR, the half-brothers. Look, both of them are going to get the 2 miles. Nereus, I'm just a little bit of a question mark if he is a real sort of a 2-mile sort of horse, but knowing there's not much speed in the race, you'd think it's going to be tricky. Like you said, there's going to be mid-race moves. What do they do with a top weight of 59 kilos? It's going to be a very interesting on-speed. Apache Hand, I probably thought down on the bottom from barrier 1, maybe the leader by default.
Maybe it's Arby, just because he doesn't have that real quick turn of foot. I think the other two coming out of that particular race, Nereus is a stayer who has a quick turn of foot when he's absolutely up to the mark. I've read reports that they're not worried about the 2 miles. And Wolfgang has been up for a long time. It'll be one hell of a training performance. But when he's right, we saw him last time at Trentham, he actually showed a pretty good turn of foot as a staying horse. So whether that's going to play out into a 3,200 metre event, well, a little bit with you, not sure. Arby, I think, will grind out the 3,200 metres. And really the interesting fact, if interpretation's back in this race and there's no tempo, does he have a turn of foot to get right into this pip? Not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting who does take up the speed. One you mentioned, though, is Arby. Let's hear from one of his co-trainers, Darren Weatherly, and Aidan just asked him how both of his charges are going leading into this.
Really good. Arby's run last time at Ellerslie was huge. He was caught wide early from a real sticky gate, and then Jasmine elected to go forward and popped him outside the leader, and he really fought on well and only just got nailed, and that was in the Queen Elizabeth 2-4, so stepping up to 2 mile I think will be right up his alley. And SVR, his run in the Waikato Cup was huge. Then he went to Taupo. Initially we were very disappointed, to be fair. Thought we're not going to go to Wellington on that run, but when you assess things, there was a horse that slipped. They called the races off afterwards. He is a duffer on bad ground, and he went down on his front bumpers. I feel he could have pulled himself up going around Taupo. He's such a big horse, and he would have felt really uneasy. So his work since has been huge. We've checked him out fully, and he's 100%. And they both worked really well on Tuesday on the course proper against the rail, and I couldn't separate them.
Oh, really good. Yeah, no, he's come through and he seems to have just gone ahead, I think. So, no, we're very happy where he is, and just hopefully he gets a nice run, and hopefully he should be running over top of most of them.
Yeah, very happy with him. Came through the run at Ellerslie real good. But galloped this morning, nice gallop on the front plough. Very happy with him. He's gone to walk right through the line and just kept going. So
I think these 2 mile races for him have been on the radar since the last Cup too. It was just, we don't really have a lot of those nice races in the lead ups to the bigger races at home. So it was obviously in the back of their minds a long way out because he didn't have overly long out after the Cup. So he still had a nice bit of residual fitness, and he's running those, the Bagot was just huge. He went super in the Bagot. So if he runs up to that again, yeah, like I said, I think he'd be very close.
Wow, where do you head? I think there's 3 leading chances. I'm going to go with a local and Testify Me. I just like the preparation into Saturday, put up a couple of massive performances early. I think really showed last start that he was looking for even further Testify Me. If he gets mid-pack in this race, I do expect him to be hitting the line nicely, but it's wide open outside of that team.
Yeah, I could make a case for any of the 15. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the outsiders lobs if there's no speed. But look, I'm going for the Adrian Ball-trained Beavertown boy. Kelly's got a good record on the horse. She's 4 starts for 3 seconds, so she's due a win, and he's been set for this race as well.
I'm going to the top of the book, lads. I'm going with interpretation. I just saw enough in that Bagot run to think that this horse is primed, comes out of the Mars stable with really high claims. I thought the danger was Nereus. I'm really happy to be around the Counties Cup winner, a horse who they did test in Australia earlier on. So interpretation for me on top though, Pip.
Okay, going with the Australian and whatever horse you like, it does get underway on your big Saturday, 5:11. We turn our attention now to the undercard at Trentham, and we'll start with the Group 3. This is, of course, the New Zealand Bloodstock Desert Gold Stakes, race number 6 on the program. Over the mile, and Like a Lucy favourite, $1.95 from Canelo at $4.20, and then you have Renovations at $8 on that third line of betting. Again, Canelo has been the mover, 6 to $4.80. Let's go back to, of course, the Eulogy Stakes here. Canelo, Skymax all come out of this, but Like a Lucy, Bevan, was just so good.
Oh, this smashed the clock too. This might be the best 3-year-old in the Central Districts. Now, I know Robbie said there might be a little bit of a question mark on Saturday. However, I rang him yesterday evening. He said this horse is thriving. It's had plenty of work, putting on weight, which is generally a good sign, boys. I don't know if the leg up boys who seem to give them all themselves all the boosts and spare cash around the place can give it a boost on Saturday, because I don't know, Leith, I can't see this horse being beat.
No, look, there's nothing in that race that would really turn the tables on her. Look, she ran the fastest 800, 600, 400 and 200 metre sectionals. And look, being by Darren, there was always that question mark if she could get that sort of mile, but she's got so much scope. She looks like a big, classy horse, Oaks sort of type. And from barrier 3, I'm with you. I'm not sure how they can beat her this week.
No argument from me. I thought she was a standout for the day. She was brilliant in that race. And as we say, Canelo, Skymax, Renovations, they were all there chasing. And how do they turn the table? So I'm just not so sure. We'll have a look at another form line going to Bellarista in this last start, second at Tauranga. Able to get to the speed this day and probably get somewhere near it. I had the horse mapped in the trail for this Desert Gold Stakes. Wasn't beaten far. Luke Curry does the riding for Stephen Marsh, and should be getting a soft run from barrier 2.
Yeah, she's very honest. She hasn't got a bad race yet, and you would think the big roomy track at Trentham's going to suit her as well. And like you said, Luke Curry on this week, he's going to give her every opportunity from barrier 2.
Oh, I agree, Aidan. I have it mapped in the trail. I think the only problem is that Like a Lucy could probably get to a spot directly outside of Bellarista, and then I'm completely with Like a Lucy. But a nice horse going forward, the filly by Bilardo, who's put up a good campaign. And hey, Stephen Marsh is absolutely dead set flying with his 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds at the present moment. So you wouldn't say absolutely not. Royal Sovereigns is just a lightly raced horse for Bill Thurlow. This here at Trentham, after leading up, maybe a little bit leader-dominated and therefore biased towards the on-speed horse. But look, the horse attacked the line really nicely. Track conditions will be a little bit better than this on Saturday. Rail will be back in the true position, and I don't see it having all sort of favours with a run like this, Lee.
No, look, they literally walked up front, and it was a sprint home. Look, she was really good past the line. She's, step up to the mile was going to suit her. I'd definitely have on my tickets a top 3 chance. But, yeah, Michael's probably going to have to do a little bit of work from barrier 10, probably sits just outside the leader.
I think it was a late entry for this race, and obviously barrier 10 not ideal. It'll depend where they get to and what they do with Stockpin, who's drawn barrier 8. So Stockpin was very fast in a 5-horse race. But if Stockpin doesn't go forward, then Mirabella leads with Royal Sovereigns on the outside, and this might be a really advantageous spot. But yeah, obviously you're going to have to improve to be beating Like a Lucy.
You definitely are off that first run. Well, what about a runner like Renovations? Let's hear from her trainer, Cody Cole. And again, Aidan just asked how she is tracking into the race.
Looks super. She needed to run a little bit last start down there, and just the effort told the last kind of 150 she came to the end of it. But she ran on really nicely until then. Plenty of merit in the run. I think a bit of natural improvement fitness-wise. She shouldn't be too far off them.
Yeah, she's going really well. Obviously she'll be third up, so her fitness will be right on target for the race.
Everything gone to plan since that New Plymouth win?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Mentally, she's a very tough little filly. She's very workmanlike, does everything you ask of her, eats, works well, and just enjoys the job. So.
Looks the best bet on the program for me, Like a Lucy, $1.95. Not sure if you can get a little bit more from that around the traps later on in the next couple of days, but if she runs up to what she did last start on the clock and to the eye, they'll be struggling to beat Like a Lucy.
Yeah, she picks herself $1.95. I'm happy to have her for my multis. Barrier 3 is a big plus. She's got a liking for Trentham, and the miles, she's just going to be too good for them.
Yeah, this was the easiest assignment of the races we were covering today. I'm with you guys. I'm with Like a Lucy as well.
There you go, one to run through the multis, I think, this weekend. As we now move on to Rarataka Classic, the other race we want to have a look at here, race number 8 on the program, of course, over the 2100 metres, and Unequivocal is the favourite in an open race, $8 into $5.50, High Country at $6.50, and then you've got Cinnamon coming off that last start win at $8 with Tyke Myson at 8 as well. That's a look at the market. Let's take you back to one lead-in race here, High Country, of course, second, and Unequivocal, two Sweens, was really eye-catching flying into third.
Yeah, I reckon they got the market wrong here. I think the two Forsman runners should have been much shorter than the 8 and 8.50. Good effort here, High Country. Will be jumping from an inside gate and will put it right on speed, but outside of that, I love what I saw from Unequivocal here. I reckon there's a massive amount of upside from this mare by Eminent. I think she'll stay all day. I think she might even meet further than 2100 metres on Saturday, Leith, but there's a lot of upside into her 5-year-old season around Unequivocal.
Yeah, certainly, and obviously all of these horses have been set for this race. Look, High Country, look, he was left there a little bit early. He was a sitting duck, and he was beaten by a good one. About time, she's very good. If she was in this race, she'd be probably started a $2.50 favourite. So, look, High Country, he's very honest, but he hasn't won for a very long time. He's only had the one win from 13 starts, and that was a maiden race at Hastings.
Yeah, I think, as Bevan said, like $8 was crazy for Unequivocal, because if that horse had drawn an alley at Ellie's last time, it would have gone very close to winning. Now into $6. High Country was good, and we'll get a soft run from Barrier 1. And yeah, I think it's going to be an okay form race there. Have a look. I agree with Bevan. Like Moonlight Magic is $8.50 on a horse who was second in a Group 1 in Queensland. It just seems crazy money for a horse we know's got the ability. 2 runs under her belt. Last time out was in very strong company, a $270,000 racing behind Bourbon Empress, a Ritual Mile. So third up, she should be ready to go. George Rook to do the riding. He's in great form. Underrated, Leith, surely.
Yeah, look, she's been unlucky in a few races as well, and like you said, she was second in the Queensland Derby, all but beaten 10 lengths by Warmonger, but they've set her for this race. She's got a perfect gate in Barrier 4, and I'm happy to be on her in each way chance for sure.
Price is madness, absolute madness around Moonlight Magic. You've made all the relevant case around this horse, A-Rod. Is it one run short with just 2 miles under the belt up to the 2100 metres? I'm not doubting Andrew Forsman. Gate's very good. I love what it did at Te Rapa. I thought it should have been running favourite, and it's my top selection, Moonlight Magic. And I expect a race day when a bit of Australian cash starts coming in from what they saw across the ditch. This horse is going to crash right in and run a lot shorter.
Yeah, I think the inside jaws are a big play here. High Country, Moonlight Magic. Last year, the Odyssey, he jumped from Barrier 1, and like you said, Moonlight Magic, she's done a bit of travelling last year, but she's a class horse of the field.
Yeah, I'm with Unequivocal. I'm with the stablemate. It is Barrier 10 rather than 14, and of course, all the ballots have drawn outside, so she won't be coming in any. But on what she did at Ellerslie last time out, I think she's awfully hard to beat, Pip.
Yeah, really nice each way at $8.50 and $3 for the place. Now let's move on to race number 5, the next race we have to concentrate on. And of course, this is the Open over the 1400 metres, the tax accounting and taxation handicap. Sumi for Alan Sharrock, favourite at $3.50. Balzeco at $5. Bedtime Story again's been the mover, $7.50 into $5. And then you've got Sugar Sweet at $6.50. Let's go back to Sumi. She comes into this with great form as well, Bevan, off the back of 2 wins. This was a brave third.
She's a good mare, and she is flying. She's never won at Trentham from 7 starts. She's had 5 minor placings. This is a really good, strong effort. She's got the weight, and as we look towards the race on Saturday, whether the 2 kilos is enough, down to 58 with Tristan aboard, not 100% sure, in a pretty competitive race, Lee.
Look, she's got a beautiful gate in gate 2 where she can probably be that spot hand here. Look, she's very honest. She never goes a bad race, and the 2 kilos off her back's a big plus. And look, I think she's the one they all have to beat.
Yeah, back-to-back wins leading into that last start, third in the Group 3 Great Northern Challenge Stakes. She's got to be hard to beat. We see the TAB Mile winner, Koipua in there, Connor O'Kieran, who was so good resuming. The Southern Rarataka, Sugar Sweet was winning at Taupo last time out. However, I've gone further down the book. I've gone to Bedtime Story, who's won 4 of 10. Good at Otaki last time out. Just looks to be a really nice emerging talent. So at a nice price, Bedtime Story for me, Leith. If you.
Yeah, I'm on the Sumi. Alan Sherrick, lucky we have her ready for this week. The draw's a big plus, and Tristan Moodley on at 2 kilos off its back as well.
I'm with the horse I think that's flying at the moment, and Bell's Eco, who's won 4 of 9 at Trenton with 3 other minors. At the trip, it's had 6 starts with 2 wins, 3 minors. Sexually unbelievable at its fresh up run. Ran home the best sectionals over 1,100 metres at Trenton the other day, and behind the Stony one. And I think Fancy Like Lass, the Stony one, both have great ability. She's getting 53 kilos on her back, Pip. Look out.
Yeah, she was really eye-catching in that race, so wasn't she? So again, guys are split in the open, and that's a look at our Trentham preview. Don't forget 2 selected races from Trentham, Flemington and Rosehill, 2nd and 3rd bonus back and bonus cash this Saturday. And of course, as usual, you can catch all the action 11:30 a.m. on your Big Saturday. Time for our race trackers. These are the ones we think you should be following. Leith, you're up first. Who are you with?
Yeah, I'm going to show you a trial from last Tuesday at Matamata Heat 8 in haste. The Sam Bergerson, Mark Walker trained horse, runs in the TAB Racing Club colours as well. So, look, she's already had 1 race day start for a second, and she runs next Wednesday at Matamata in the 2-year-old 1,200 metre race.
You know, I'm going to take you to a really good exhibition gallop at Ellerslie last week. This was superb from Crocetti. Goes around on Saturday week in the Group 1 Railway on Karaka Millions night. Warren Kennedy did just push him along a little bit, so he went well. But he's run 57 and change for the last 1,000. And look at him, he's just cruising. He looks to be cherry ripe. I might be back on board for the Railway.
Fancy Like Lass than me. I think Kate just got to the front too soon here at Trentham. Left a sitting duck fresh up after a long spell. Have a look at Belzeco out wide, lads. And the Stony one is sprinting through the inside. This mare has a good race in her Fancy Like Lass. She'll be better for the run. She has a slight leg issue, so she hasn't been seen for a while, but I thought she was good, and she'll be tough to beat next up.
And your TV's not in delay because I'm taking you back to the exact same race. I like Silent as Gold, the other runner in behind Fancy Like Lass as well for Kevin and Stephen Gray. It's been a long time off the scene. I thought this was a really nice fresh up performance from him. I think he'll take a lot of benefit out of it as well. And he wasn't too far away from the likes of Balzeco and Fancy Like Lass in that race. Let's have a look at a summary for you. In haste for Leith, Crocetti for Aidan, Fancy Like Lass for Bevan, and I'm with Silent as Gold. Make sure you follow them. We've got a few winners there in our race trackers. Our second domestic meeting this weekend. We're heading down south again to Wingatui. So Aidan, we'll head to you. Are we getting fine weather down there?
It looks that way, Pip, and they have been irrigating at Wingatui. Looking forward to this meeting as well. High of 21 degrees. They've got a soft 5, which should be improving. And as you can see, the rail in the true position for Waikawahiri Cup Day.
And that's what we want to hear as we move on to the feature. Race number 7 on the program. Take a look at the market here. Over the 2,200 metres, and Mayor of Nilwood is your favourite at $4.50. Party at $5.50. And then you have the runner like Complicate, who we want to highlight at $5.50. The mare brings in good form here, having won her last 2, including this one, Aidan. And look, she handled both grounds, of course, winning on a good track prior to this heavy.
Yeah, big time Mr. Intelligent who goes pretty well. It was a tactical affair. And one thing about Complicate is she does have that tactical form. She's an improving mare. Yogesh Anchima takes a couple off to 53.5, and she just picks herself in what really is a race that is really lacking depth.
It's certainly, look, she's going to get a nice uncontested lead as well. And like you said, she's put 2 in a row together. Yeah, good rider change to claim with the 2 kilos as well.
Next one we'll have a look at here is Mayor of Norwood, and obviously the Anderson team, they fire this time of year and on the home track at Wingatui. Corey Campbell from Barrier 1, interesting, he's going to get back anyhow, but maybe it just means he can take up a spot or two handier. It's won 4 of 25, and the record at Wingatui is probably the best guide here. 9 starts for 3 wins, 2 minor placings. So upside about Mayor of Norwood, but this is a race where I think it's a bit of a dart job, Leith.
Yeah, look, Corey's won twice on her before. Like you said, from barrier 1, he may be after just sort of be a little bit closer. Hopefully Complicate, it doesn't get an easy lead, and he's just sort of, you know, he might be 3 back, and I thought Mayor of Norway's well placed, home track, there's a bit to like about her.
Okay, I've gone with Complicate to make it a hat trick, but without any conviction whatsoever. It's a race where you're just going to have to leave me out of them. I'm sorry. Leith, how did you see it?
Yeah, I'm on the favourite Mayor of Norway. I think Corey Campbell, the Andertons training, Corey said 61 winners on that track, so he knows it, so it looks like the one they all have to beat.
There you go, that's what Leith and Aidan are liking in the Wakawiti Cup. As we move on now to race number 9 on the program. This one, of course, is over the 1,400 metres, and our favourite here, Too Much, $5 from Riviera Rebel at $5.50. Ears Back at $6, and Master Marco, again, has been a slight mover in this market. He's sitting at the $7. Let's take you back to Ears Back, who wins this. Now, of course, Greg was on last week too, Aidan, and he was quite keen on Too Much out of this race. Who caught your eye?
Ears Back. I've got to say, just also keeps on just getting better and better. This win was full of merit. Obviously, a really nice run from Jimmy 5 into second. Too Much runs well into third, no question. But Ears Back has now won 7 of 31, just keeps on stepping up. Donovan Cooper's in good form. He takes a couple off to 56. So I'm just sticking. I really like what I saw from Ears Back, Leith.
Yeah, another horse on speed. The 2 kilos come off. Donovan Cooper, like you said, he's riding well at the moment. They've been busy, these jockeys in the South Island. So, look, Ears Back, you know, it's going to be jumping. It's going to be in front. Definitely a top 3 chance. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Radiant one. I know it led last start. I think the improving track conditions is really going to help, and if she gets back to any of that form that we've seen in the last couple of seasons at Riccarton, she'll be going very close, and she's great value at $8.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the Ears Back. Beat home the Radiant one last time out, going really, really well, and that's my top selection in the sprint, Pip.
That does complete our look at Wingatui, but don't forget too, if you want to have a play there, we do have the Odds Surge available with the TAB across all races this Saturday, so make sure you get involved. The first race from there, 11:40 a.m.
Enrico getting out, he's starting to wind up. Over on the outside, he is coming with a heck of a run. Enrico jumping up out of the ground, swept to the lead from last to first. Enrico the money. Kitty Flash coming through, then Domain 8th, but it's Savagly in front. Frank gets down to work now, and he's going to be too good again. The cream of the crop, a cracking colt. Savagly as easy as you like.
Miss Peaks tackled on the outside by Irish Brigade, going a good race here, but Miss Peaks with a kick here at the 100 metres. Miss Peaks, the good looking Miss Peaks, will go on and score.
Yeah, pretty good weekend for our best bets. Let's hope we can find you some more. Leith, you're the first cab off the rank. Who's your best?
Yeah, well, Savagely, he was hard to find last week, right? I don't know how you got him right, but I'm going Foxglove Sunday, race 3 at Pokakoe. Look, she ran the fastest 800, 600 metre splits, and she was very unlucky last start. She will be going very, very close to winning, and just keep putting it on Sunday, race 3, Foxglove.
Well, we hope so, Leith, because you've been missing a star for several weeks now. I haven't seen one next to your name in a long time. You look next to mine, lots of stars, including this one. Oppenheimer steps up from maiden cup into a 60, but going really well. Second in a very good race on Boxing Day last time out.
It's okay. Look, I'm ashamed. I'm going with Like a Lucy at $1.95. Wouldn't normally be mine, it'd be Aidan's, but I'll go with it because I can't see it being beat on Saturday, and hopefully we'll get a little bit more for it. It is smart.
Shots fired today. Look, I'm going for Merchant Queen, race number 2 at Pukekohe on Sunday. Second up on Sunday. I think she can turn the tables on the likes of Ground Gallo with, of course, that lethal combination, Stephen Marsh and Sam Spratt. Here is a summary. Rosso starts us off with Big Time Bora on Friday night, race number 10 out of Hattrick Raceway. Like a Lucy for Bevan, best bet there. Oppenheimer for Aiden on Sunday, as well as Merchant Queen and Foxglove, all coming out of that Pukekohe meeting. And that does complete the form again for another week. Pleasure to have you back, Bevan and Leith, and as usual, always pleasure to have Aiden, and that does complete our show. Hopefully we've found you the winners. We'll catch you back next week.